There are moments in your life when words fall short, when pain weighs heavier than your own thoughts, and when silence feels louder than a scream. In those moments, you don't have anyone to talk to, not truly. You're surrounded maybe, but not heard. And then quietly, without moving your lips, your heart whispers to the one who knows it all. That whisper is dua. You see, dua isn't just a request. It's the trembling of the soul, the confession of the heart, the secret the world doesn't get to see. It's when you are stripped of everything except your hope in Him. It's not a transaction, it's a return to the one who saw your tears before they ever fell, who heard your silence before you ever realized you were drowning in it. But just as a key must fit a lock to open a door, dua must carry the right tone, the right humility, the right boundaries, or else it risks being rejected. Not because He is harsh, no, He is the most merciful, but because there are lines that protect you, rules that guard the sanctity of that divine conversation. And sometimes unknowingly we cross them. We turn a moment of surrender into a moment of ego. We treat a sacred bond like a casual wish list. That's why you must know, not every dua is accepted, not because He doesn't love you, but because some duas become sins when they're tainted with arrogance, ignorance, or transgression. And before you raise your hands again, before your heart breaks open and your lips tremble with prayer, pause. Ask yourself, am I calling upon Him with sincerity, or am I unknowingly stepping over the lines that protect the soul of my dua? Let's walk through these lines together. Let's learn the mistakes, not to shame, but to cleanse. Because when dua is made with purity, it doesn't just change your life, it heals your heart. Sometimes in our desperation or confusion, we ask for things that were never meant to be ours. We forget that dua is not a tool for fantasy, but a sacred bridge between our need and His wisdom. You may find yourself saying, "Oh Allah, let me fly like the birds," or "bring back someone from the dead," or because bring back someone from the dead. Or bring hearts can ask broken things. But He is the Lord of reality, the one who placed every law of nature, every boundary of existence for a purpose far greater than our momentary emotions can grasp. When you ask for what defies His divine decree, the laws that hold the skies in place and the soul in its journey, you are not just asking, you are overstepping. And in that overstepping, there is a hidden arrogance, a refusal to accept the beauty of how He created the world. Imagine asking Him to undo what His perfect wisdom has written, not out of faith but frustration, not out of hope but defiance. Is why not every dua is noble. Some are laced with denial and unwillingness to accept reality as He designed it. And those duas don't just go unanswered, they echo with a tone that distances us from Him. So ask, but ask with your feet on the earth and your heart in the heavens. Ask for what draws you closer, not what drags you into delusion. Know that He can do all things, but He won't do all things, not because He can't, but because He knows better than you ever will what will heal your soul. There are wounds we carry that no one sees, like the loss of someone we loved, who never believed, a parent, a sibling, a friend, someone whose voice still lingers in our memory, but whose choices never bowed to truth. And in that quiet pain, we lift our hands and whisper, "Oh Allah, forgive them, grant them paradise." Not out of defiance, but out of longing, out of love. We must hold gently, gently. There are doors that close forever the moment a soul leaves this world in disbelief. As much as your heart may ache, as much as you wish to rewrite their ending, you cannot make a dua that undoes what Allah Himself has decreed. It's not a matter of harshness. It's not because Allah lacks compassion. It's because justice must stand beside mercy. And the lines He draws are not meant to hurt you, they're meant to teach you that your love is powerful, but His wisdom is perfect, that you can cry, you can remember, you can hope for His hidden mercy, but you cannot beg for what He has already judged. He wanted to pray for his uncle, the man who supported him in life but never believed. And Allah told him no, not because his dua wasn't sincere, but because the final chapter had already been written. So if you've lost someone outside the fold of belief, do not despair, mourn them, miss them, remember them with kindness. But do not ask Allah for what He has clearly closed. Instead, turn your sorrow into action. Pray for those still alive. Love them while you can. Because once the soul leaves the body, the time for intercession ends. And what remains is Allah's perfect judgment and your peaceful surrender to it. There's a quiet pride that can sneak into even the softest dua. When you ask not for nearness to the righteous, but to be counted above them. You might say, "Oh Allah, make me a prophet," or "Let me be the chosen one to intercede for others." And in that moment, your tongue may sound innocent, but your heart is asking to stand where only His chosen stand. Some things are not given. They are appointed: prophethood, divine roles, unseen knowledge. These are not honors you can claim through prayer. They are sacred trusts, handpicked by the Lord of the heavens, not prizes handed out by request. You may think you are simply asking for greatness, but beware. True greatness is not in being elevated, but in being accepted. It's not in wearing the crown, but in carrying the weight of humility before the throne. And when you ask to take the role of one already chosen, to replace the prophet in intercession, or to know the hidden secrets Allah veiled from mankind, you are not just transgressing. You are attempting to rewrite the divine story as though your will could hold a pen heavier than His. Ask for light, not titles. Ask for sincerity, not status. Ask to be counted among the righteous, not above them. Because the soil beneath the prophet's feet holds more honor than 1,000 thrones built on pride. And it is far better to be a humble follower who is accepted than an ambitious soul whose dua was drowned in the noise of their own ego. Sometimes the desperation for a way out becomes so overwhelming, people ask for relief even through darkness. "Oh Allah, let this haram relationship work. Bless the money I earn through what you've forbidden. Make me successful even if it's through means I know displease you." It's a contradiction we rarely admit out loud, asking the one who commands purity to bless our impurity. But how can the most pure bless something that corrupts you? How can the one who commands truth reward what is rooted in deception? When you ask for something sinful, knowingly it isn't just a misguided dua, it's a plea wrapped in rebellion. You're not just asking Allahumma to provide, you're asking Him to make your disobedience easier, smoother, more rewarding. And that's not a dua, it's a veiled insult to the one who loves you too much to give you what will destroy you. And if He withholds it, you feel abandoned. But in truth, that denial may have saved your soul. If you ever ask for blessings through adultery, or profits through interest, or success while walking over His commands, and it didn't come, thank Him. He protected you from yourself, and if in your blindness it did come, if the relationship flourished, the money multiplied, the sin became easier, then beware. Because not every gift is a blessing. Sometimes what looks like answered dua is actually a rope slowly being pulled tighter until the soul wakes up or falls. So purify your requests. If what you're asking for is stained, no matter how much you want it, let it go. Beg instead for guidance, for lawful means, for the kind of success that brings peace, not just profits. Because a single drop of blessed provision is better than oceans gained through what He forbade. There's a kind of desperation that turns noisy. You see people raise their voices in dua as if the louder they speak, the faster heaven will open. They cry out with force as though Allah is far away and needs to be summoned with volume. But the one who created your voice does not need to hear it loudly to know your pain. You are not calling upon someone distant. You are speaking to the one who is closer to you than even your own breath. You don't need to shout to be heard. You just need to mean it. Dua is not a performance. It's not a speech for a crowd. It's not thunder and drama and high emotion spilling over in noise. True dua is quiet, soft, trembling. It is the whisper you share in the middle of the night with the lights off and your heart laid bare. It is not for the ears of the people. It is for the one who already knows what you carry even. When the Prophet's companions once raised their voices while making dua, thinking they needed to shout to be heard by Allah, He stopped them gently. He reminded them, you're not calling on someone deaf, nor someone far away. You're calling on the one who hears even the thoughts you don't yet know how to put into words. So lower your voice. Let your tone reflect your need. Let your stillness speak of your trust. There is beauty in quiet, because quiet dua shows that you believe He hears even the whispers. Tears in dua can be beautiful, a sign that the heart is alive, aware, soft in the presence of its Creator. But not every tear is pure. Not every cry is a sign of humility. There are some who weep not from submission, but wail. Not from pain, but protest. Their voices rise not in reverence, but in frustration. As if to say, why did you do this to me? Dua that is drenched in defiance carries a heaviness not just in sound, but in spirit. It stops being a call for mercy and becomes a complaint against divine wisdom. When your sorrow turns into accusation, when your heartbreak becomes bitterness, when your grief demands an answer rather than seeking comfort, your dua begins to cross a line. He welcomes your pain. He welcomes your tears. He knows your sorrow better than you do, but He doesn't owe you an explanation. And when you make dua, remember, you are not standing before a servant. You are standing before the King. And though He is closer than your own heartbeat, He is still the King. So cry. Let your voice shake. Let your chest feel heavy. But don't scream at the sky as if you're owed something greater than His decree. Instead, weep like one who knows that even in the ache there is mercy. Weep like one who believes that unanswered prayers are sometimes hidden gifts. Weep like someone who trusts the one they're speaking to, even when they don't understand. It's a surrender. And even your most painful tear can become a form of worship if you offer it with patience, not protest. There are times when the heart becomes so desperate, it tries to negotiate with the Almighty. Oh Allah, if you give me this, I promise I'll never miss a prayer again. If you don't fix this for me, I won't worship you anymore. And what was once a plea becomes a threat, a bargain, an ultimatum. But this isn't a business deal. This is dua. This is the soul speaking to its master, not a customer demanding service. The moment you place conditions on Allah, you are no longer asking, you are challenging. You are saying, do this or I walk away. And the moment you say that, it's not your dua that is broken, it's your trust. You may not even realize it, but every time you link your obedience to an outcome, every time you pray only when things go your way, or fast only when life is smooth, because true worship isn't about what He gives you, it's about who He is. The ones closest to Him were the ones tested the most. The prophets, they cried, they begged, they waited years, but not once did they say, if you don't answer me, I'm done. Instead, they said, my Lord, I am in need, no matter what you decree. So when you make dua, strip it of all conditions. Don't say, give me this and I'll obey. Say, even if you don't give me this, I will still worship, I will still love you. Because the moment your dua becomes unconditional, that's when it starts to resemble true servitude. And in that place where there is no threat, no bargain, no expectation, only love and surrender, that's where hearts are healed and prayers begin to rise like light through the darkness. Sometimes in dua, we start listing every detail, not out of clarity, but out of a desire for control. Oh Allah, let me enter paradise through the gate on the far right, with walls made of silver and carpets of white and a garden just like the one I saw in my... And while it may seem poetic, there's a subtle danger in this kind of request. A need to control even the unseen. But dua isn't about scripting your destiny word for word. It's about surrendering to the one who writes it better than you ever could. When you begin to insist on every minor detail, it's as though you're telling Him how to bless you, rather than asking Him to choose what's best. Yes, you can ask specifically. Yes, you can be heartfelt and personal. But there is a line between sincere desire and micromanaging divine wisdom. You weren't created to be the author of your fate. You were created to trust the author. The Prophet himself would make the simplest, most powerful, no embellishment, no long-winded details, just purity, simplicity, and complete reliance on the one who knows what lies ahead. So make your dua with hope, not blueprints. Ask for what is good, but leave the design in His hands, because the place He prepares for you, the path He paves for you, and the blessings He selects for you will always be more beautiful than the ones you tried to imagine for yourself. Dua is supposed to be a private moment of connection, a sacred conversation between your soul and its master. But sometimes, especially in public gatherings, it becomes something else. The words stretch longer, the tone becomes theatrical. The emotion, instead of rising naturally from the heart, is stirred to impress the crowd. And what began as a dua slowly transforms into a sermon. You hear a voice echo